In this episode, you'll discover how to use your glutes in rowing.
Feel the grip of the oar handle, smooth yet firm in your hands. Taste the salt of your own sweat and the occasional splash of water. It's all part of the journey. Welcome to another episode of Faster Masters Rowing Radio. Each week, our host, Masters rowing coach Rebecca Caro, dives deep into the world of Masters rowing. Whether you're on the water or in the gym, join us to become a faster master. Let's go rowing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Rebecca Caro, and today we're tackling the important issue of your glute muscles. These are the muscles in your bum or your butt if you're American. Are they activating and are you using them? David Frost is a speaker who has done a couple of webinars with us, most recently a functional movement webinar for people aged over 60. And in it, he asked an important question. Are your glutes just along for the ride? Well, how do you know? A good place to start is to look at some video of yourself rowing either on the erg or on the water. And what you're looking at is your power phase. You will probably see your legs pressing down flat, and you will probably easily see your arms going from fully extended and bending them to draw your oar handle close to your body. But take a look at your back swing. Are you starting with your back leaning forward? And is your back swinging through so that your shoulders end up behind your hips in a way that's dynamic? When you activate your backswing, you're generally using your glutes. The glutes are really important because they are the hinge, like a door hinge that connects the door to the wall. They connect your legs to your back. And if they're not activating, it's extremely hard to do a dynamic backswing. In the power phase, your legs initiate the drive. And when you get to a point where your legs are very nearly straight, so there's still a little bit of bend in them, you should at that point be beginning your backswing. But if your backswing is passive and it doesn't look like it is accelerating the tip of the oar through the water, and you can tell whether that's happening if the mound of water in front of the spoon starts to reduce. What you'll find is that you're actually not using your back enough to go faster than the boat is currently going through the water. So you have to accelerate the blade. And in order to do that, your body has to move quicker than the actual blade in order to keep pressure on the face of the spoon. So looking at a force curve, looking at a video of yourself rowing, you can probably tell if your back looks quite passive, if you end the stroke perhaps with your back very upright, and your legs do not continue to push down while your back is still swinging, you probably have lost connection to the foot stretcher. And that's why our glutes are so important. If you do activate them, it's great. The news is very, very positive. You are recruiting extra muscles that you can use to power your stroke. The problem is it's reasonably hard to find your muscles in your glutes and to activate them. And so first you have to locate them and know what to do to turn them on and turn them off. Like any muscle in the rowing stroke, we power them up and they create tension, and then we create relaxation in the other part of the power phase. And the same applies to our glutes. So once we find out where they are and how to make them turn on, we then need to strengthen them. Now, I was put on to glutes as a really important part of the stroke by Ryan, who is my strength trainer. And he told an anecdote about the professional footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, this man has been at the elite end of soccer most of his life. He's currently 40 years old. And Ryan was watching a match in which he was on the sidelines and was warming up preparatory to being drawn onto the pitch to join the game. And he was doing glute activations. And his remark was, this is really interesting. So someone who is an elite professional athlete still feels the need to activate their glutes so that they're warmed up and ready to fire to support his footballing actions before he starts the game. We tried this in our erg session this past week. We did a warm-up, then we got off the ergs to do a little bit of stretching, and we did two sorts of activations. One was on the glutes and the other was on the core. The core we did with a front plank and two side plank holds to turn on those muscles and get them used to working, so that when we were going back onto the ergs, they would be ready to work in the pursuit of power. And we did the same for our glutes. Now, there are three basic exercises that are very accessible that you should be able to do to strengthen your glutes. The first one is called a clamshell. You lie on your side on the floor with your knees bent and your ankles pressed together. And you take your upper leg and you raise the knee up, leaving your feet still touching, so that you raise it up and lower it down with control. And you should feel as you do this that it activates your glutes in your bum. You can feel those muscles working. The second glute strengthening exercise is called a fire hydrant. And in this one, you kneel on all fours, hands on the ground, and you want your arms straight with your hands below your shoulders. And you're going to lift one knee just off the floor, maybe by a centimeter, and then cock your leg out to the side with a bent leg. And your goal here is to move your leg without pivoting your hips. You try and keep your hips and your shoulders square to each other. And you do obviously one leg and then the other. The third one is a crab walk using an elastic band. So you know those bands that you can get of varying widths in the gym. They're quite thick rubber. And you put that around your knees, and you might want to crouch down a little bit so that your knees are bent, and you have it between you, across your thighs, so between your knee and your hip. And you walk sideways. So you take one step out to the side and then your other foot joins. And you want to do 10 steps sideways in one direction and then return 10 steps in the other direction. And you should again feel your left and your right glute in turn working to activate and strengthen them while you do that crab walk. So that's on the land. And it's good to isolate the muscle so that you know what it is and what it feels like when it's working before we try and take it into the boat. So how to activate your glutes for rowing: sit on the erg or on the boat, and as you're approaching the catch, you want to clench your bum. So you want to feel like you tighten those muscles. You may find it makes you sit up a little taller as you activate them. So you clench them tight. And the feeling you're looking for is something that I know you have all done. I want you to feel as if you're holding in a fart and you don't want to let it out, because in that way you will activate your glutes. You might also activate your core. And that means that they are turned on. So when you get to the catch and you're ready to start your power phase, driving with your legs, those muscles are going to be engaged. Now, you can do this on the erg first. It's helpful because obviously you have numbers you can watch. You can see whether they are effective. So try rowing just 10 strokes with this clenched glute as you're approaching the catch and through the power phase. And then go back to a normal rowing without clenching them so that you give them a bit of a break, because muscles that aren't used to being activated get quite tired. And then try another 10 strokes again. You will also find that in terms of swinging your back, which is the drill that you need to learn in order to make those glute muscles do their thing and connect as the hinge between your legs and your back, you might find that the body swing only drill is a worthwhile thing to do. And we have a video of that, which is available to anyone who's in our Coach Mastermind group. If you sign up, you get a joining bonus of 10 exercises and drills, and that's one of them. So I very much hope that this gives you some ideas about ways to recruit some useful muscles into your rowing stroke. And of course, who doesn't want a nice pert bum?
We are part of the Rowing Chat Podcast Network. Please tell your fellow rowers about the show. If you've learned just one helpful thing from today's episode, please consider supporting the show for as little as $1 per month by visiting fastermastersrowing.com/podcast.